And we're off. Like I said, we'll get the card up here in the moment. Canadian Owl will be forcing row 4 on this card. Row 4 is 40 plus power bombs, 2 Norfair tanks and a Meridia tank, 1 of Norfair Reserve or Wreck Ship Reserve, defeat Croc and skip the high jump boots, and then collect or skip both Charge Beam and Spazer. Derp has forced Column 2. Column 2 is 35 plus power bombs, activate all Meridia save stations, skip the Wave Beam, 2 Norfair tanks and 1 Meridia tank, and skip high jump boots. Looks like neither runner will be able to get their high jump boost. As always, our runners start off in Sarah Station in a double anti-bingo race. Gives them some time to think about what kind of routes they want to do. This, of course, runs on the stock game, although of course people can run emulators if they want to. So, talking a little bit about this card, Derp is going to have to get 40 power bombs, which is always interesting because you have 10 of them inside Lower Norfair and 1 of them inside Meridia, inside one of the sand pits. So he's going to have to make the choice of going deep into Lower Norfair or going into Meridia there. And since he has to defeat Crocomire, he'll probably be grabbing the power bomb locked behind him as well. Given the fact that he has to get 1 Meridia tank and defeat Croc and get the Croc E-tank, most likely he'll be heading into Meridia. So his choice will be whether he goes straight up into the wreck ship for gravity or if he decides that he wants to dip down to Kraid first, probably influencing whether he wants the wreck ship reserve tank or not. For Dirt's pairings, since he probably won't want to go into Lower Norfair, although he could in Column 1 if he wanted to dip in for a power bomb tank. He assigned Column 2, so I'm going to make the assumption he's not going to go for that. Column 5 is purely collection, but he would have to make his way all the way back to the rep ship energy tank room. And the other columns are all pretty nasty here, honestly. We'll see, maybe he'll try to go for a row or one of these diagonals. Both runners heading back up the climb. Unlike Randomizer, we actually get to see Mr. Bomb Teresa stand up and try to attack poor Samus. For Owl, he will also be having to dip into Meridia with his column. It will be interesting to see if any of them try to duplicate with their high jump tile, skipping high jump tiles. Because in fact, if Owl wants to skip Wave Beam and Charge Beam, and then skip Spazer, he could do row 5 fairly easily. The difficult tile for Owl, of course, being all the Meridia save stations. There are 4. The one that people tend to forget is he'll have one by the Forgotten Highway, so we might even actually see him go that way from Fantoon. We'll see if Derp has any interest in that all Brinstar missile tile. Nope, looks like no reserve tanks, no extra Brinstar missiles for Derp. No, probably avoiding column 4 and row 1. Don't think that's too surprising. Ooh, looks like Owl might be thinking about row 1. We'll see if he just wanted a little bit of missiles. Ooh, nice, gets the run out. Oh, looks like he just wanted a few missiles, extra missiles there. Nothing, not going for the other ones by the reserve. And Derp choosing to grab the charge beam. So he will have to pick up Spacer Beam, everybody's favorite beam. Oh, interesting. Oh, maybe it's okay. Yeah, Owl doesn't need all 40 Burnstar miss, all the Britzel missions. There's 60 of those. He only needs 40 for that. Derp choosing to head up the red tower. Doesn't surprise me too much. I guess he'll probably be see him head straight into Fantoon after grabbing the beta power bombs. That's still not where the pipe is, Owl. Dab is definitely a game of you gotta know where everything and every way to get there is. Optimizing these routes is really hard. Looks like both runners are going to be choosing to do the ship first. We'll be seeing how they do their CWJs, and a lot of these races are often determined by how many tries to cross the middle. currently thinking that Owl is trying to do row 1. Um, he could be doing column 4, actually. I expect we'll figure out if he's doing column 4 after if he goes to grab that criteria power bomb or not. Derp entering the Fantoon fight with 45 energy and a knee tank. No, shouldn't be a problem for him. Of course, anyone who says that hasn't tried to do it. I certainly wouldn't want to fight Fantoon with only 1 energy tank and 45 energy. And it looks like Owl is at the minimum deciding to head back towards the ship on fairly low energy, so maybe not a bad idea. Could also be grabbing that criteria power bomb right now. Derp, on the other hand, has not really done anything that gives us a clue towards what he's going to be doing. And indeed, Owl is heading for that criteria power bomb. Going to be comparing column 4. Oh yeah, I had it a little backwards. Owl has been assigned column 2, so it's very interesting that he's pairing column 2 with column 4. Well, it's not a bad way to do it because he's got to get criteria power bomb unless he wants to head into. If he wants to avoid the Meridia power. Oh, and Derp gets his nice clean Fantoon. Make sure I got those rows right. Yeah, looks like Owl is choosing to do 2 columns as his fastest way. He will be having to get the speed booster and head back to the Decoras in order to visit them. That's only after he defeats the moat. Fairly clean attic from Dirt. Nice CWJ, Owl. And the hardest enemy in the game, the moat, has been defeated. Oh, Derp deciding he wants a little more energy before going into bowling. Not a bad idea, given that with 160, it takes 3 hits for you to die. And while it's not a problem at all to only 2 hits on bowling, extra safety is always a good idea. Owl heading down into his Fantoon fight. Derp obtains his all-powerful gravity suit. It's really kind of ridiculous how much better gravity suit is than Varia suit. That's why for randomizer they had to say, no, gravity suit, you now no longer prevent heat damage. Which makes sense. Why would manipulating gravity have anything to do with heat? Oh, careful there, Al. Uh-oh. Ow. Oh. Bear. Uh-oh, he just enraged Phantoon on 14 energy. Good thing for him that he picked up that charge beam and can pseudo-screw. You can do it, Al! Not out of danger yet. Needs one more health drop to avoid dying to flames. There he goes. Was one missile. Derp grabbing his criteria power bomb. Since he has to get 40, that means he has to get every single one of them. And if Owl wants to avoid the Meridia power bomb in the sand pit, which is quite annoying to get, then he probably will also be wanting to defeat Crocomire and get the power bomb behind. Both runners now heading into their Brinstar cleanup. And we still have no idea what Derp wants to pair with his Road 2. Oh, also gonna have to do some farming before he grabs that. Looks like interestingly, Derp is grabbing a Brinstar tank, skipping the super missile though, and then visiting the Edicubes. Could be the critters. Could be row 1. Oh, duh, he just wants the power bomb. Owl's got his gravity suit. Gonna head back. Derp not quite getting his Mission Impossible escape. It's theoretically possible to jump back up the way you came, just like Tom Cruise. Derp headed up for Retro Bryn Power Bomb. Meanwhile, Owl actually heading back down the climb to do it the other way around. Considering we believe that he is planning on visiting the critters, I would be unsurprised to see him go get the speed booster and then head back up that way, because he's got to back up to the Decoras either way. Wonder if I will want to get the Billy Mays missiles as part of his Brinstar 40. That's a no. Derp, I guess, just deciding he needs to farm a little bit out of this pipe. Looks like he will be heading for the X-ray scope. We'll have to bomb jump up it, having neither Ice Beam nor Grapple Beam, unless he can get the Waver deboost. No. Alright, now he's got to get the second bomb jump. Having the gravity suit in the vanilla game. Oh, Al, where you going? Where you going, Al? Gotta get that spacer, Al. Oh, no, wait, no, you don't need the spacer. Only Derp needs the spacer. Duh. Ooh, Derp did the bomb jump the wrong way. Al getting his first Meridia save station. Oh, Derp was farming so he would have enough energy for a Crystal Flash just in case he needs it. That's why he wanted 10 missiles. Smart. I don't think you needed to use 3 supers to get through that, Owl, but if you want. And with that, Owl has collected his 40th Brinstar missile, and Derp has claimed his X. So what is Derp pairing with getting X-ray scope? He could either be doing column 5, but if he's doing column 5, then I would have expected him to grab the right ship direct supers, which I don't believe he did. He also does not have too many energy tanks. So instead, I expect Derp to be collecting the wave beam and getting row 5. He has to go down to Crocomire to get his grapple beam regardless. So doing the getting the spring ball is not too far out of his way. He has now claimed his best beam, Spacer Beam. Expecting Owl now will grab his speed booster, go defeat Crocomire. I wonder if he will be collecting Spring Ball or going for the Dragon kill. Considering he has to go to the save room that is very close by to Dragon, most likely the Dragon kill, will be able to finish up his power bombs on his way for the critters. Meanwhile, Derp only has to... Derp will still have to go in deep into Meridia for the Meridia Power Bomb and for his Spring Ball collection. I believe that Sand Pit is on the way to Spring Ball, though, so it's a good choice of Derp. So at this point, I would say that even though Owl is going to be the first one into Crocomire, that Derp is ahead by a few minutes right now, but we'll see how it ends up working out. Because Derp definitely still has more collection and more item fanfares than Owl. Doing his wave gate glitch on his way to Crocomire. It's everyone's favorite four-eyed monster. I am sad that I apparently do not have a Croczee emote on Twitch. Owl easily cleaning him up. Getting his second Norfair energy tank. And defeating Crocomire while skipping them boots. And indeed, Derp is now heading towards his wave beam. Doesn't look like that Derp has grabbed his Norfair reserve tank yet, though, so that's interesting. Oh, it looks like he's going to head back up and grab it now. Ooh, no deep boost for you. Without high jump boot, it's a pain in the butt to get up here. Well, yeah, Owl will save some time. He doesn't need grapple if he's going to defeat Dragon, whereas Derp is going to have to go down to get the grapple beam as well. Mixing in a power bomb on your bomb jump in order to get up here. Very nice. Oh, nope, I'll can't make that jump. Gonna have to bomb jump out of Croc. And this, everyone, is why defeating Croc and skipping high jump is a pain. because you also have to bomb jump through Cathedral. Both runners did that earlier. We'll see if Owl wants to do his Brinstar cleanup now, or if he wants to do his Meridia cleanup first. And Derp going into the Crocomire fight. Looks like Owl says Meridia. No Ice Beam, no Grapple Beam. Always a fun time. Will likely be grabbing that bot wound tank to get his Meridia tank. But at least has Speed Booster. Speed Booster, people say Space Jump, people say Spring Ball. Speed Booster is the best item in Super Metroid. Canadian now finding the second Meridia save station. Huh. He accidentally selected no. Had to go back in. Everyone's favorite snake. They're going to get his grapple beam so he can get that spring ball. So at this point, Owl is going to have to go defeat Dragon, save, go to the Forgotten Highway and save, backtrack to Brinstar, and finish with the Edicoon's Power Bomb most. He needs, I think he needs 3 more. I might have missed one of his. He got, yeah, he needs 2 more. No, he needs 3 more because he got Retro Bryn, Power Bombs, Alpha, Beta, and Criteria. He hasn't gotten any of the other Brinstar Power Bombs yet. Oh no, he has 5, but he needs 2 more. He needs Mission Impossible and Edicoon. Meanwhile, Derp grabbing his 6th Power Bomb. Oh, no, that's actually his 7th Power Bomb. He only now needs the Meridia Power Bombs. And I'll finding his 3rd save station. And Derp avoiding that bomb jump by being able to just grapple. That's a nice time save. Owl doing his speed booster kill. Meanwhile, Derp also going into Meridia. He needs Spring Ball and one tank. So I actually, and the Meridia Power Bomb. So I actually. So yeah, Derp is actually probably pretty far ahead here. He just needs to get the Meridia tank and this Mama Turtle tank, and then get to the Meridia Power Bomb, and then to the Spring Ball. Looks like he ran out of energy doing the speed booster piece. Don't run into Mama Dragon there. Derp mucking up his spark. Oh, wow. Oof. He might need to. He can't speed booster out yet. He needs with the health bomb energy, he'll be fine. But choosing to get space jump because that might be faster. So at this point, I would say Derp is pretty comfortably ahead. Derp choosing to save for some reason. Derp Owl's gonna have to go all the way up to the Forgotten Highway for his 4th save station, and then do his Bryn cleanup. There we have Derp's 40th Power Bomb. He only shows 35, but I'm pretty sure he's got 40. That only leaves the Spring Ball for him. I do wonder if there were other routes that Owl could have taken that might have been a little more efficient. I feel like row 1 might have been better for Owl. But the way that he's going in his Bryn cleanup, he pretty much has to get all those anyway. Oh yeah, Derp does have to get up through the grapple hole without the high jump boots. Always a massive pain. Owl remembering where his safe station is, though. Finding all. So now it's a race between can Derp bomb jump into the Spring Ball room in the approximately 2 minutes it's going to take Owl to get back into Brinstar, visit the Decoras, visit the Edicoons, and grab them power bombs. And there Derp gets it. He better kill Shacktool. Shacktool always deserves to die. Maybe if he wasn't so slow at digging and did a better job, he could live. Let's think about why not. Owl's basically going to be where all the 5 tanks are. He visited Retro Bin for the tank in the ceiling. He's going to be passing by Edekun's tank. He would have had to defeat Kraid. Then for the 35 plus super missiles, let's hold on a little bit here while Derp grabs his spring ball and finishes. Derp finishes with an official SRL time in first place of 41:38. And the Blats keep going. Uh-oh, ow. Gotta get through that gate. Come on. 2 more tries.
Hello?
And welcome, Derp.
First of all, I want to ask if my game audio was static the whole time.
We've been using owls the whole time because the tracker thing said yours wasn't usable.
Uh-huh. Well, that's great.
Yeah, I all it shows me is not usable. I can't even click a button to even hear what yours sounds like.
Well, apparently that is the case. My audio was static the whole time. That is fantastic.
Sorry about that. I guess I should have said something in the channel that your audio wasn't working.
Well, I mean, good news is I fixed it now, so I will not have any problems afterwards.
So welcome. You finally make it to actually participate in one.
Yeah, didn't go great. I messed up a lot of pretty silly things. My route was good, but
I really liked your route with the fact that you knew you had to get the Meridia Power Bomb that tied in really well with Spring Ball. You needed to defeat Crocomire anyway, so Grapple Beam was on the way.
yeah, I think my biggest mistake routing-wise was probably picking up Charge. It costed me a good amount of time going to get Wave, which I never ended up using. But other than that, my routing was really good. And then my execution was subpar, we'll say.
And also, you didn't need Charge, but boy did Owl need Charge, because he enraged Fantoon on 10 energy. So,
oh no.
He lived through it, didn't die, but he definitely needed that pseudo screw.
I see.
So interesting about this card is that both of you decided to do 2 of the same. Owl doing 2 columns and you doing 2 rows.
Yeah, I don't know. I was initially I was gonna do column 1, but I realized row 5 was just better since I was skipping high jump anyways. I was picking up Criteria Power Bomb anyways. Wave Beam wasn't too far out of the way. X-Ray wasn't too far out of the way. And then instead of going to Lower Norfair, I could go to Spring Ball. So that's how that happened.
So why do you think you assigned column 2? Like I said, obviously it looks like both you and Owl were thinking similar things. And well done.
So I thought
with 45-48.
So I picked column 2 over row 4 because of the all Meridia save stations. I figured that takes a while. You have to kind of go everywhere around Meridia. So
yeah, because really it's interesting because they're row 4 and column 2 are essentially the same thing. You have to skip the high jump boots. You have to collect a bunch of power bombs. You have to get that same energy tank, Meridia tank tile. And welcome to Owl.
Hi.
Yeah. Looking again, I think I should have picked TLBR. I think that was the best or the worst row, but yeah, there were a lot of rows that were basically the same.
How did you feel about the race, Al?
I should have chosen derps. Sure. Because I see row 4 basically does the same thing as column 2, but a bit more. But I don't know.
Well, it's interesting because I wanted to ask you, Al. The first question I had for you was you chose to pair column 4 with column 2. What do you think made you choose column 4 over row 1? Because that's what I was until you. I actually thought you were doing row 1 until you skipped some E-tanks.
I don't even know.
Because definitely this is a card where column 2 and row 4, I agree, and top left, bottom right, I agree, are probably all approximately equal difficulty and approximately by themselves. It's what are you going to pair with?
Like I saw the 35 plus power bombs, and I knew there were only a few power bomb packs I could skip. So I looked at Crocomire. Defeat Crocomire, skip high jump boots because I already had to skip high jump boots, and Crocomire is a power bomb.
And you were already getting the criteria power bomb.
Yeah.
But I wonder if going for if you grab the Meridian
and
power
also
bomb, skip to Croc. I wonder.
And also I had to get the Dragon save anyways.
So let's talk about that. There's 2 tiles that I wanted to ask you guys about in this card. One is, of course, the activate all Meridia save stations. How do you guys feel about a tile like that in the sense of A, it makes you go to the save stations, but then B, you have to turn them on? I'm trying to decide if I should make it so you don't have to turn them on or not.
Does make it a bit awkward, but then again, if you had something like a wrecked ship save tile, then activating it would be more. It would be more forgivable, because after going into the map station rooms, it makes sense to turn them on. So I get that. But I'm not sure about the save stations.
Yeah, and I saw you did click no and then had to go back in. And so it's the thing of, right, it's balance issue of, hey, you get a little more time on the save station tiles. But at the same time, a few people have said, it's kind of frustrating to save that often and just annoying. Mm-hmm. So there's no sense in me making a tile intentionally annoying unless we think there's balance reasons for that, like the map stations.
Yeah.
I can say I didn't really consider using the save stations versus going in when I picked the tile. I just picked it because you have to go to so much in Meridia. Like, you have to go up, like, to Forgotten Highway, down to Dragon.
Yeah. And that's why I feel like...
The only reason why I didn't go down Forgotten Highway after getting Grouty is because I miscounted my criteria and my Brinstar missiles.
I was going to ask you why you went for the Kraid missile.
Yeah, I sort of didn't really realize it, but going behind the Brinstar Reserve would have been much faster because then I could have skipped the beta missiles and the Kraid missiles.
Yeah, I might try to leave activate on some of the single save stations because then you only have to save once. But I feel like maybe Brinstar and Meridia need to be changed to visit the save stations. Or
I would say we keep it consistent. Like, if we have activate one save station, then Basically, all
Or-
the save station goals should be activate or just visit, in my opinion.
The other way that we could do it is activate could be you go into it and press no. Is saying no in a save station counting as activating it?
Well, you popped up the text box, so I guess so.
I think I might just change them to visit, right? It's kind of annoying to have to save that many times, so. And I like the tiles of making you go the places they go.
Yeah, that's a good tile. It's just saving is a bit annoying.
So the other tile I wanted to ask you too about is probably one that you guys didn't think about at all, but that I had a lot of consternation about changing and is pretty different, is actually your shared tile. 2 Norfair energy tanks and 1 Meridia energy tank. So that tile used to be a higher difficulty, and then B, it was 3 Norfair tanks or 1 Meridia tank. And the way I looked at it was that nobody was ever going to get 3 Norfair tanks, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, you either have to defeat Croc or Ridley, plus go to Firefly and lower Norfair. Why would you ever do that versus just going to Mama Turtle or Botwood?
To be honest, to me, basically what that tile is in practice is just, go to Croc, because you're very rarely going to be visiting Lower Norfair in a bingo, and then do something in Meridia. So depending on what you pair with it, it can be pretty free, but you kind of have to consider it when you're routing. Like, that was part of the reason I chose row 5 over column 1, because I had to do something in Meridia anyways. Mm-hmm. So I decided Mama Turtle was right there. Might as well.
Yeah, and that's where like I said, one of my goals is to make Lower Norfair routing more viable, right? That going into Lower Norfair and Dab can be the fastest route more often if you have the right tiles and the right pieces. And so that's where my goal of making it the and, because I could have left it 2 Norfair tanks or 1 Meridia tank, and then just made the difficulty even lower. So that's kind of where, hey, if they are, because there's a few routing tiles now where maybe you just want to dip in for Mama Turtle and then go into Lower Norfair, and it would let you skip Croc. And that's kind of my goal, but I haven't decided yet if I really want to keep that tile as an and or an or and drop the difficulty.
Like, the other thing is that I had to go to high jump E-tank and then get out because I had to skip high jump.
I mean, yeah, I did that too.
It just taunts you.
Yeah.
It was interesting that both skip high jump tiles came up on this card. All right. Any other last thoughts or feedback for me?
Not really.
Not really.
All right. Well, thanks for showing up this week, guys. Hope you had fun. Mm-hmm. And with that, we'll be back next Saturday at the same time, unless somebody can't make that time and says, Linares, change it, please. So with that, we will go see you guys next mission.